Hey, what's going on? Thanks for checking out another video. And real quick, as always, if you can just check out ryanjleone.com/prints. There you'll find all of my photos and more for sale, for prints, for you to hang up on your wall and support a photographer friend. In today's video, I'm going to be going over 4 rolls of expired film that I shot with my trusty, beautiful Pentax 6.7 a couple of weekends ago here in Long Island City, New York. I got these 4 rolls of expired film in a bag of expired film that was provided to me by my very good, lovely friend, Sherry, who you can see right here. She was super awesome enough to give me a bunch of expired film to use for my Pentax 6.7, and I decided to pick 4 rolls and go out into Long Island City and shoot them. So the 4 films we're going to be talking about today are Kodak Portrait NC, which is one of my favorite. The second is Ektar 100 by Kodak. Next would be, for 3, Kodak Ectochrome, which is a slide film, and I got some really beautiful, amazing results with it. And then finally, 1 black and white, Fuji black and white. I'm unsure of which one it was. I'll make sure to put it in here exactly when I find it out. So I packed up my bag, I packed up my film, and I headed out to Long Island City for the day to walk around my Pentax 6.7 and shoot 4 different rolls of expired film. So first up that I shot with was with the Ektar 100. Now the Ektar 100 only expired a few years ago, I think like 2005 to 2010, so about 10 years ago. So the rule with expired film is you want to overstop it every 10 years. So I did go over 1 stop when I used this film to get the right sort of balance for it. And as I was walking around taking these photos, you can see they actually, for being expired, look really good. I mean, Ektar 100 is a low grain film already. It's a 100 ISO film, so the grain is low. But for expired film, it still looks good. Even with the little minimum amount of balancing I did after using Negative Lab Pro, they still came out really, really good. So those were the photos that were taken with the Ektar 100 expired film. After that, I moved on to a slide film, Kodak Ectocroft. Kodak Ectochrome has been around for a long time now, and this is actually the only expired roll I have, and this is the only time I've ever shot Ectochrome expired, and I was really worried about the results. And when I took it to Bleecker, they actually told me that they were going to cross-process it instead of using the traditional E6 formula that they do for slide film. So I was a little worried when I got it back, and as you can see here in the negative, it looks different than what you would see with a normal slide film. Usually slide film looks like a positive of the photo, but this was almost like a mixture of negative and positive. And it looks really awesome in the negative, but the photos that I took came out even better. After that, I moved on to my black and white film, which was Fuji 400 PR Acros, I believe it was called. Again, I'll write it here once I find out exactly what it was. But this was my only black and white film I had with me. Now, the great thing about black and white film is even when it's expired, it still comes out pretty good and pretty sharp. And some of these photos that I took just really prove how good it looked. I mean, even looking at the negatives, they look sharp and clean and good. And the photos that I took around the Long Island City train station just show how sharp and good it actually is, even for being expired film. And then finally, when I was done with that, I shot with my Portrait NC, the one roll of Portrait that I had with me. It is the NC. Back in the day before they came out with Portrait 400 and Portrait 800, there were two types of Portrait. There was Portrait NC and there was Portrait VC. NC was neutral color and VC was vivid color. So the NC gave you more of that muted look and the VC gave you more of a saturated look. They then combined them and now we have Portrait 400 and Portrait 800. But this is Portrait NC, which is one of my favorite expired films. And I finished my day out by walking around and taking more photos with the Kodak Portrait NC. And again, as you can see in the negatives, they look great. And then the actual photos that came out look even better. And that was what was shot with the Portrait NC, one of my favorite expired films out there. So I hope this video showed you a couple of things. One, that even though the film is expired, it's still good. There's still great images you can get out of it. And even something like Ectochrome, which is an E6 sort of process film, if they cross-process it, you could still get great results if you use something like Negative Lab Pro to reverse it. So I hope you enjoyed these photos, and I hope it made you understand that you can go out there, get cheap expired film when you're learning or when you want to be creative and still get amazing results. I hope you enjoyed these photos. I appreciate it. If you want to see them more, check out my Instagram, Ryan J. Leone. Remember to like, subscribe, don't forget to just shoot, and I will see you in the next one. Later.